Right, here it is. I didn't film any of the making of the loom because it's just boring wiring shit, and we've had heaps of episodes of wiring already in the series, so I just went ahead and did the whole thing in 2 different sessions in the shed, or outside the shed. You can see the big mess. We've got leftover terminals, loom tape, braided sleeve, heat shrink, and wiring diagrams and all the good stuff. And here's where we're up to. Ditched the factory cable trays because they're way too big now, because I've pared down this loom so there's a lot less wires in it than the old one, so that they're just rubbish now, all brittle anyway. So I've just put some P-clamps and cable ties, of course. It's coolant temp, that's crank angle sensor, that's shielded wire. The cam and crank angle sensors needed a shielded dual core cable, so that's what this is. Tefzel cable with a shielding. It's awful stuff to work with, I hate it, but it's done. And that's those two pairs of thin white wires, that's the cam and crank sensor, and they've got a glue lined heat shrink, a little, what do you call it, one of these things. It's got a solder sleeve in it and glue lined heat shrink and a little tail that you connect for the sensor ground, so that solders itself into the shielding of the cable, and then all you have to do is crimp the other end onto your sensor ground wire. And then you've got the shielding for the sensor is connected to sensor ground, which is an improvement, I think, on the old loom, which had the shielding connected to chassis ground. So now we've got the shielding going back to the ECU sensor ground. That's how I like it. This is the bell housing. This gets bolted on somewhere here in this sort of orientation, and the connectors on top are just 3 for that's the TPS, brand new OEM TPS sensor, so we can't say that is faulty. And brand new idle valve. Obviously the 4 wires for the coil come up here. So this loom has got brand new connectors, brand new crimps, brand new wire, brand new everything. There's not one piece of secondhand crap in this wiring loom. And with all the connectors, the wire, the shielded thing, the solder sleeves, the tape and everything, I'm well over $1,000 into this wiring loom. And that's just the price you got to pay. If you want something done right, you need to get the right gear, do it properly. That's not even including all the tools. I think just the suite of connectors that I bought from iWire in the USA, that was over $600 worth just in connectors. Then you got the wire itself, which was TXL wire for most of it, and the Tefzel wire for the cam and crank. The only cheap thing really was this braided sleeve. That's super cheap, that stuff. So I didn't use much of it because being so cheap, I don't know how it's gonna. I don't really like the idea of it holding up in the engine bay, but that's what everybody uses. It looks pretty, doesn't it? I'm gonna do one last check, beep out every pin in here with every sensor to double check every wire is going where it should. And yeah, hopefully that is the end of this electrical saga. I don't want to be chasing electrical problems again on this engine. Yeah, nice neat job. Ta-da! It's tuned. There you have it. Project complete. It is idling too fast. There's something going on. It's getting air from somewhere, which makes it idle too fast, even though the idle valve's disconnected. There's something erratic, it's very inconsistent. So the idle needs work, but it's tuned, it runs good. It torque steers now. So final power figure we had at the wheels was an eye-watering 60 kilowatts. 60! Which is sweet Fanny Adams, but it's if that's what 60 feels like at the wheels, I hate to think what the old engine had. It must have been like 30. So it torque steers now, and if I really give it some poke, it breaks traction even at like 50 kilometers an hour, and it's trying to torque steer at the same time, so the front end's just sort of like sliding all over the place. So I got to be easy on the throttle because it's only front wheel drive. But there she be. It all sounds good. It's fun to drive. The engine is so smooth, I could probably balance a coin on it. There she be. That's 8 months work. 8 months work. You don't want to know how many dollars, but we've got fuel injection now. I'm interested to see what the fuel economy is like compared to the old engine, and I already know that it runs a lot cooler than the old engine. Now you can hear me. It runs a lot cooler than the old engine. It's smoother. I don't have to downshift for the slightest little hill anymore. I can actually climb. I reckon I'm going to be able to climb express motorway hills, you know, freeway hills, without downshifting. I reckon we got there. It's only 60 kilowatts, but this car only weighs probably 1400 kilos. So I think that'll do. Don't want much more than that, because being only front wheel drive, like I say, it just lights the front wheels up like you wouldn't believe. So, project complete. Thanks for watching this series, if you're still watching. And yeah, just time to enjoy it now. Just time to drive the wheels off it.